How did we get here? So The Marvels is the latest cash cow installment into the MCU. The film is directed by Nia DaCosta, and it stars Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, Iman Vellani, and Samuel L. Jackson. And the plot to The Marvels is, well, I don't even know anymore. You can tell by the sheer disappointment on my face that this movie was not good, y'all. Before I get into what I did not like, let me talk about the few good things that I did like, because it's only right. To me, the best part about this entire movie, and frankly, I think we can all agree on this, Iman Vellani was the best part of this whole movie. She absolutely carries this film. She really is the heart and soul of not just the group, but the entire movie as a whole. Seeing her perform, it's like watching a diehard Marvel fan play a character that they loved growing up. And that's what this is. And honestly, even though this movie is a dumpster fire of a plot, let alone just completely structure-wise, it's just awful, Iman was just happy to be there, and you cannot get mad at that. Her comedic timing and innocence is just wholesome and perfect, because she really is the glue to this trio. And whenever she's on screen, she just absolutely delivers and kills in every single scene she is in. Had she not been in this movie would have been way worse. Now, I know there's going to be some people out there who's going to be confused as to who Miss Marvel is, who's Kamala Khan, when does she come into play. This is exactly what I was talking about with my review of Gen V, how not every single person is going to watch all the spin-off shows leading up to the next Marvel project. So I'm pretty sure there were some audience members who were very confused into Kamala's presence, but I'm willing to bet that they enjoyed her on screen. Overall, Iman Vellani absolutely crushes it. She carries this movie on her back, and I look forward to seeing more of her in the future of the MCU. Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is actually more likable in this film. When you look at her one-dimensional, boring, vanilla personality in Captain Marvel, and look at her somewhat layered personality in The Marvels, she is way more enjoyable on screen, and she actually has some humor. She actually has a soul. Where was this version in the first Captain Marvel? Because this version is way better compared to the predecessor. And y'all, I'm going to be honest. The first 20 minutes of this movie was actually kind of fun. I cannot lie. Within the first 20 minutes, I was looking at the screen like, you know what? This movie is actually not that bad. I'm kind of having a fun time. And as the movie went on and on and on, I realized that this movie, it's not good. And listen, even though I went into this film with very low expectations, I still walked in optimistic. I still walked in with an open mind because I wanted the film to be at least somewhat decent. You know what I mean? Just be a fun, decent little movie, right? And I walked out and I realized this movie is actually garbage. And with that being said, let me get into the bad, because there is a lot. Now, like I said, I wanted to give this movie a chance. I wanted it to be somewhat decent, you know? I didn't go into this film with hate or, I didn't go in expecting to hate it. I didn't go in like preying on its downfall. I just went in wanting a decent, fun movie. I didn't expect this film to be the next pivotal moment into the MCU. Just be a decent, fun movie. That's all I ask. And while the first 20 minutes was fun, the rest of it was just terrible. It was actually terrible. The biggest problem that I had with this film was the plot, because what was the plot to this movie exactly? Within this movie, it felt like I was watching an hour and 45 minutes of nothing. You know what I mean? Like, the plots in this film, it just felt kind of random. Like, it didn't feel cohesive. It didn't feel straightforward. It just felt like, here's one plot, here's another plot, and you know what? For the fun of it, let's put in a third plot. And none of it really correlated. You know what I mean? Like, it was just random shit happening on screen, and it did not look satisfying. You have the Marvels realizing that their powers are intertwined. You have Captain Marvel versus this fake Rona the Accuser lady villain. And then you have this unnecessary subplot where Goose is giving birth to cat babies. Or I don't know where these cat babies came from. Some egg. I don't know. Point is, it was all just one big jumble mess. And the movie tries to juggle all of these plots within an hour and 45 minutes. And it was just sloppy. It was not good. Why couldn't we just have one cohesive plot line and just ran with that? Because when the movie focused on the Captain Marvel versus the fake Rona the Accuser lady, there was a lot of story missing there. Like, you can tell that was supposed to be a movie on its own, but they took pieces from that plot and merged it with two other plots. And it was just like, I can't even think of the words. It was rough. It was rough. Based off of the very first trailer, I thought the movie was going to focus on how the Marvels have their powers all intertwined with this cosmic energy. And I, for one, actually thought that was a cool concept. And I was curious to see how they would run with it. And, yeah, with that plot, wow. Listen, let me tell you what they did. So in the beginning, you know, we see the Marvels, all their powers are intertwined, where every time they use it, they swap places. And I thought that was actually pretty cool. I'm like, okay, how is this going to play into the movie? And we do see it, but the problem is that sometimes that concept is not consistent. Like, there are times where they use their powers and they don't switch at all. So it's like, why use this subplot if you're not going to take full advantage of it? I don't understand. Look, great concept, but the execution was just horrible. This villain, yeah, she sucked. She has got to be one of the worst MCU villains of all time. Like, this lady makes Whiplash look like Eric Killmonger. That's how bad of a villain she is. Like, her plot, her whole story is just flat out generic and kind of boring. And I feel like I would have sympathized more with her if the movie had focus on that plot with this villain and Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? But we got this whole other Jumbotron mess, and it felt like she was just in the way. And you know what's crazy? Near the very end of the film, where the villain is pretty much talking about why she's doing what she's doing and why she hates Captain Marvel, there is a point where Monica Rambeau suggests to Captain Marvel, hey, why don't you do this since this is what the planet needs? And Captain Marvel's excuse was, I've never done it before. You are one of the most powerful characters in the MCU. Barely anything can kill you. So you doing that, I'm willing to bet it would not have killed you. And you didn't try because you just haven't done it. Now, granted, you could have said that, you know, the villain could have conveyed what they needed more. But you know what? What do I know? And this movie is also edited weird. So this movie can go from one scene to another, and the transition to the next scene just feels kind of wonky and not as fluid. Like, it feels like it just happens. You know, it's kind of like one of those, oh, that was a weird cut. Something like that. The CGI in this movie is kind of here and there. So there are scenes where it actually does look good. And there are other moments where it's kind of like, ooh, that looks pretty bad there, Chief. And don't even get me started on that cringy singing scene. I could have gone without that. Why was that in the movie? Who asked for that? Like, what the fuck, man? So there is a scene where the Marvels go to a planet, and the only way that the people can communicate is by singing. And it's pretty cringe to me. Some people may like it, you know, but for me, it was a no. Now, I can admit this. The actors and the extras on set, you can tell they had a ball filming that scene. Like, it looked fun to film, and I'm willing to bet that. And I can respect that, but me, nah, that ain't for me. that ain't for me. And also, Nick Fury and Tiana Paris, they might as well not be in the movie because they really did nothing. Like, they were just there. And it's such a shame because both Sam Jackson and Tiana Paris are two extremely talented individuals, and they got done so dirty in this movie out of all the characters. Matter of fact, the whole movie just does not do any of these actors justice. Like Brie, Amon, Tiana, and Sam, they all deserved better. Their characters deserved better because this movie, not good. It's just not good. I sound like I'm over it because I am, but this movie was just an abomination. I have never felt this disappointed in an MCU film since Love and Thunder, and that is saying a lot. In the end, y'all, the Marvels, that ain't for me. And let me make something very, very clear. If you enjoyed the Marvels, more power to you. Matter of fact, I am happy for you. And also, y'all, Don't attack people for liking this movie. If they like it, just let them be happy, y'all. Like, don't shame other people for liking something you don't like.
Stop it. Get some help.
So, plugging the Marvels into the rank system, I am placing this one into the negative zone. But yeah, that is pretty much my review for the Marvels. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about the Marvels. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Is this movie worse than Love and Thunder to you? What is your favorite Phase 5 project thus far? And why is it Guardians 3? Whatever you thought, let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you all in the next one.
After working up the nerve, almost equal in size, I walked around with the iron for any wrinkle in time. I paid a piece of my mind for every nickel and dime, but never less than a 5 and never slept on a job. A killer crept on your squad, yet never left the garage, where your God was close enough to see the flesh of his eyes. Get to the button and press, it's what the message advised. What's the threat behind the vest is where the testament lies.